We up, baby. We live.
Oh shit, dog. What's going on? What's going on, James? How you doing?
I'm good, Zach. How are you?
Drew, how is your Rona life over there?
Oh, I'm living it.
Oh, he's living like Larry.
2 to 3 weeks with Rona.
On the reserve list.
Yes, he is week to week with coronavirus. Chris, how you doing? He's doing great. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's going on? It's Soggy Boy. We're here with the BOTA Cast. We got some week 13 review. What were we on again?
14 to 15.
Thank you. We are here with some week 14 review. Some week 15 review.
Hold on.
Sidebar. Drew's always been jealous of my R rolling. That is the thing.
Yeah, I cannot.
That is
roll
actually
my
a thing. He cannot roll his R's.
Drew, you can't roll ours?
He cannot roll his
R's. Not even a scooch.
Nope. But I got that. I got that nice
I can't do it either.
All right, everybody roll your R's in the mic. This will be welcome to BOTA ASMR.
Welcome to we know which two BOTA members give the best head.
Spoiler, it's Zach and then Zach.
Yes. Agreed. All right, boys. I think honestly, let's start with last night's game.
Great.
Let's start.
Super.
James.
Great.
I'm doing this.
Awesome.
I'm doing this for a reason because ladies and gentlemen.
Fantastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce a new segment. I can't wait to do this. All right. Welcome to Upset the Spaghetti. and this week we have James. James, why are we upsetting? Why is James upsetting this week?
The Browns lost to the Ravens.
That's not why you upsetting.
I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, he's not happy. All right, James.
Why am I upsetting, Zach? Because apparently I'm not right about why I'm upsetting.
No, you're upset about losing the game, but I think it's more of the way they lost the game. I think you would be less upset. I would say, because we'll think about it like this: if Trace McSorley stays in, they win that game. So I think you have like a double-edged sword there. Like, you know, Lamar comes back after taking one of the best poops of his life and just puts on an MVP performance.
That thing must have been monstrous, by the way.
I no kidding. He was out for like half a quarter.
My favorite part is they ask him after the game. Okay, yeah, clearly had to take a shit in the locker room, and he's like, to clarify, I did not shit. He has to cover his tracks.
He's like, I didn't pull a Paul Pierce either. Awesome.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the actual game is you can't. This is definitely a situation where you can't put it down to one play where like Lamar comes back and throws the ball perfectly to Marquise Brown, who had butterfingers all fucking night, but not for that play.
I mean, he had maybe 7 or 8 yards of separation on the nearest defender.
Yeah.
But
yeah. No, hey, I know. I saw it. Oh, yeah. The secondary was beat up. We that was the issue with Tennessee, but they ended up holding on that. But mostly it comes down to the linebacking. The linebackers were missing tackles. They were fucking up spies, and they were just awful in coverage. It was atrocious. Mac Wilson's nowhere to be fucking found. I don't know what he's doing anymore. He was supposed to be a star coming into this year, and now he's fucking nothing. How bizarre.
How bizarre.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I'm a little disappointed, James. I thought you would be ranting.
No.
Or at least crying.
I mean, like, how can I really be ranting about it? We still have an 83% chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's
84.
true. I understand.
The offense played phenomenally. The offense was a top-tier offense.
Yes, the offense played very, very well.
Minus some, like, the interception Baker threw wasn't great. A couple overthrows, but...
No, I mean, I can see what he's trying to do, but I just think that he misjudged how fast that linebacker was coming over.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, because that was almost a pick six, like literally half a yard away from a pick six.
It was close.
Funny. Yes, Chris, I love it. Yes.
Upset spaghetti.
All right,
my grandfather's rolling in his grave right now.
The best thing is I dated someone who is extremely Italian.
You dated my grandfather?
I dated your grandfather, James. Yes. We made
I'm into it.
sweet love.
Oh,
I'm no longer into it.
Yes.
Just
All
like
right, guys.
that.
That
You
was
guys like throw pasta at each other?
yeah. If it sticks to the wall, then that's when we know that's real love. All right, guys, that was Upsetting Spaghetti. Chris, I'm sure, is going to have his background on for however long he wants it.
Yep.
All right, guys, we'll move on. We'll move on from that game. I'm sure, James, if we have any other points for that game, we'll bring it up when we do. But I just wanted to get that little new segment out there for you guys. I had that idea in the shower, as all good ideas.
Well, let's dive in a little more to this Browns game. I mean, we dove in a little bit, but like James said, the linebackers were almost nowhere to be found. There were times where an easy tackle could have been made, especially on that last run that the Ravens pushed. That middle field was wide open. They could have easily stopped them before getting a first or those, 5-6 yard passes or runs. And the linebackers were nowhere. I don't know if they were trying to play safety or what they cover 3 way far back, but they were gone.
I don't know.
They were gone. I can't blame it on the offense. I mean, a couple miscues that maybe could have turned into touchdowns, but the offense played very, very well. And the only thing I could say that the offense could have done better was time management. Don't give the Ravens a minute. But how can you do that? You're already running the clock down. They're down. They need those points. I don't even know.
Well, no, Chris, you make a good point because I was watching the game at work, and obviously the Browns were in a high tempo kind of offense going against the Ravens defense, and I feel like if you look at the time of possession, it might be equal, but I feel like the Browns had the ball more, but their drives were a lot they were a lot shorter, not shorter in terms of yardage and like punting and all that kind of stuff, but shorter in terms of time of possession. Because they just drove down the field every time. The Ravens had longer drives. I mean, obviously towards the end, like those last 2 drives, they drove down the field in like 4 plays. But this game was heavy in the ground game. I mean, they set the record. Did they set the record? No. So they tied a record or something like that. It was 9 rushing touchdowns in this game.
Yep.
It's the most
total.
since like a game since 1922 or something like that. So, I mean, it's weird because it was such a high scoring game, but it felt like old fashioned, like run and gun football. Like it was a great game. Great game. I mean, obviously we're all kind of sad because our boy James is upset. So, but
steady, but optimistic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because, you have a game against a divisional opponent, and I mean, just look at what happened to them the first time they matched up, James, and now what this game was, and it's night and day. I mean, like yes, you lost a heartbreaker, but the fact that you were there and you put up 42 on John Harbaugh, I can't say his name.
Harbaugh.
Is it Harbaugh? Harbaugh. Anyways, yeah, I mean, like you said, being optimistic is great. I think me and Chris are the negative Nancy's because of our team. So we're just like, you should be pissed. And I'm sure you are a little bit on the inside, but at the same time, like, you should be optimistic.
This is the first time James has been able to have optimism for the Browns. So let's let him have it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's a good point.
Over the last 5 years, there's really been no optimism.
What are you talking about? He had all those optimistic seasons with insert quarterback name here.
Yep. Doing great, Zach.
I hate
No, the whole point is that they've had so many quarterbacks.
I know.
All right.
I was kidding.
All right. Well, fuck you. All right. Let's go over the big games, and then we will just kind of sift through the other games. All right. So
yeah.
Let's start with Chiefs Dolphins. This was a surprisingly good game. The Dolphins almost upset the Chiefs. I almost had that call last week. Yeah. When James and I were on the podcast after you left, Chris, I did the old fashioned, I smell it, the smelly smell, but no, Chiefs
smelly smell that smells.
Yes. It's
Smelly?
An upset. No. Yeah. So they were very close to an upset. did not happen. I think they were up by 10 points at one point. The Dolphins defense did play very well. I mean, obviously up until the end, when Patrick Mahomes just said, "Hey, I exist." So
It's
I win.
gonna be me.
It's gonna be me. Yeah. Great. Another great game though. I'm really surprised this Dolphins team, again, even though they lost, they still put up points against the Chiefs. They still held Patrick Mahomes in check up until I think the last half of the fourth quarter. But I think this is a game, even though they lost. I think this is a game that tells you, okay, the Dolphins have something there. They definitely have something to prove. I mean, that defense is legit. I think Brian Flores has done a great job this year specifically. But what's up, Chris?
I'm trying to find virtual backgrounds.
Oh.
Anyway, I think Zach, you and I talked about this at one point that it was just a human, like it was a highlight reel in the game. That was it.
Yes, I know.
Every single play seemed like it was like one-handed.
One-handed, yeah. Oh, well, we'll get to the other games that of course occurred as well. But obviously, while we're waiting for Chris to find another virtual background to just inevitably derail the show again, but
let's talk about Dan Bailey being a fucking bum.
Oh my God,
what the hell is that?
I don't know, but
not Dan Bailey.
No. Well, I mean, I think it's a trend you see in all kickers that start to age out of the league. Look at Steven Gostkowski. I mean, when he ended his time with the Patriots, I think it just got stale, and then he missed a bunch of field goals, and everyone's like, "All right, like you need to leave." And
yeah, but Dan Bailey's been down that road before though too?
He has, and then he moved to another team, and he was fine for a little bit, and now he's going down that path again.
I mean, we take it from, at least I know James knows this. I take it from Blue Mountain State has put it perfectly. Kickers are a strange breed, and once you lose that touch, it's really hard to find it back. Yep.
I mean, and I think for you and me, Chris. I mean, obviously James living in New England as well, but we've had the luxury of seeing the most consistent special teams in the league for the past 22, 23 years. Actually, I would say longer because Vinatieri was drafted in 96, I believe, the first year they made it to the Super Bowl. We had Adam Vinatieri until 2006, and then they drafted Steven Gostkowski. And
he literally just topped Vinatieri's stats. Like, we've been graciously lucky. We've been really lucky. And I gotta say, we last year we had ups and downs with that, but Nick Folk has been really good this year for them, and I think it's a pleasant surprise. I think he's found his rhythm again. He's not their long-term solution. I wish they drafted Rodrigo because that dude's a fucking stud. Dude looks like he works for Geek Squad, but he absolutely fucking lasers that ball through the uprights.
I'll still never understand why the Patriots drafted Justin Rohauser.
I don't know.
But let Rodrigo Blankenship go to undrafted.
I know.
Yeah,
Makes no sense.
Stupid.
Is that Pierre eating a corn dog? Is that Pierre eating a corn dog?
From the fucking ceiling.
Is he eating a banana?
Oh no, that's the corn dog picture.
Is it corn dog, dude? It looks curved though. It's weird. It's got like that weird curve in it.
I don't know why
it's a phallic ass corn dog.
That is a phallic ass corn dog. Well, I mean, it makes sense. It's Pierre Maguire, but all right. Well, you guys have any more points on Chiefs Dolphins?
Not really. If you're gonna
only thing is Chiefs take over the 1 seed over the Steelers. They're most likely gonna hang on to it.
But I think also the point is the Dolphins. I mean, basically, you're gonna make the playoffs. They're at least they are in wild card. Not
necessarily because the Ravens won. So now the Ravens and the Dolphins are tied, and there's only one more spot. So and we'll get to this game too because this is a decent game up until kind of maybe the third quarter. But
you got to remember the thing that might end up actually screwing Miami is the Browns, because the Browns have a tiebreaker over Tennessee and Indianapolis. Right?
Well, no. But the Browns are the 6th seed. So the seventh playoff spot is between the Raiders, the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Ravens.
Never mind then.
Yeah,
that does screw you.
Yeah. So, obviously the Patriots are not going to make it. They have a 6% chance. It's not going to happen because they have to play Miami, and most likely they're going to lose that game. They play
Miami is the 7th seed right now.
Yes, they are. Yeah. So
really, yeah, you're right.
So if things pan out the way that they're going to, it looks like Miami will make the playoffs. But I really think it's between the Ravens and Miami at this point for that last spot.
Cleveland's the 5 seed.
Oh, who's the 6?
Indianapolis.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. My bad. Okay. Well, yes, but my whole point about that was that the Browns are almost secured to make the playoffs, barring they don't collapse. Which I really
even then,
Even then,
then we have to collapse, and a lot has to happen. But we have to collapse against the Giants and Jets. That's our next.
One of those is a win.
I'm not gonna
sure.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. The Seahawks did not have a good time against the Giants. So.
I know.
The Giants are a question mark. They could just decide to show up.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do.
It's really the defense, and then is
the offense just kind of putters along at their normal pace, regardless.
Well, we're gonna go over this assuming that they play next week. But if there's a Colt McCoy-led offense that beats you, James, we're gonna make a bet.
I think Daniel Jones is back.
All right, then I'm not making it back because I don't trust Danny Dimes.
You trust Colt McCoy more than Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I trust I trust Colt McCoy who beat the Seahawks rather than Daniel Jones.
Fair, I guess.
I'm just saying. All right. Okay, let's move on. Talk about this game really quickly. Titans Jags. Derrick Henry, another vintage game, 200 plus rushing yards, another 2 touchdowns. That's the 4th time he's done it already.
Hey, Derrick Henry's good at football.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
When they brought in DeMarco Murray.
Never would have thunk it.
Yeah. When they brought in DeMarco Murray and had him sit the bench, ride the bench, they could have been milking the fuck out of Derrick Henry at that point. But
could you imagine if they actually utilized Marcus Mariota being like young and still agile and Derrick Henry in one shot?
Yeah. Yeah. Then again, that's before they brought in Vrabel, and Vrabel's like, "Hey, he's good. What are you doing,
guys? Yeah.
Derrick Henry, we need to play him." Like that's a thing that needs to happen. Oh, fucking crazy. But yeah, I mean, Titans win that game 31-10. Let me look at the Colts record again.
They're 9-4.
They're both 9-4. They're both 9-4. So that AFC South spot is still up for grabs. So you could see a flip flop in the standings, the playoff spots. So I would say look out for that. Let's see other big games. Another one that had playoff potential. Bucks Vikings. It almost looked like the Vikings were going to make a comeback, and then they just stopped playing football.
Which is cool with me because that was half of the equation for the NFC North.
Yeah,
already clinched, Drew. Fuck off. Drew. God damn it. Dan. Goddamn Bailey.
He left 10 points up on the board, didn't he? Or like 13 or whatever.
Might have been more than that.
If that's the case, then that L goes directly into Dan Bailey's column. Directly. Because
4 missed kicks.
Yeah. Yeah, so is it 4 missed field goals or 4 missed kicks combined, like with PATs and?
I'll get back to you.
Okay, when you get back to me, we'll go over the actual
3 field goals and an extra point.
Okay, so 10 points, yeah. So again, not enough to actually win the game, but that would be a 2-point difference rather than a 12-point difference. So.
It's a different game if he makes those.
Absolutely, it's a completely different game. I mean, because then you think about it like this: if they have 3 missed field goals, they don't have that. The Bucks don't have that field position those 3 times, and then that all changes. So yeah, you're right, Drew. You're absolutely right. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this game. The Bucks looked okay, I guess. I mean, they played decent football. They did enough to win. I don't really know how they looked on offense because it's not a game that I actually really paid attention to because I was like, I really don't care.
Not great.
Yeah. Brady threw for 196, 2 touchdowns. Rojo had another nice game, 80 yards and a touchdown. So They're doing what they can. Brady's still spreading the ball around. He threw to 1, 2, 3. It looks like he threw to 9 different receivers on the field, so he's definitely spreading the ball around. I mean, I think that's when Brady plays his best football. Is that Chris? Is that you and Giselle? Did you mute the mic?
No, he's just laughing so hard he can't breathe.
Okay, honestly, not gonna lie, this is one of my favorite pictures.
That's my best Photoshop ever.
This is actually wicked. This is good. The best part is it kind of looks like Brady and Giselle are photoshopped into that picture as well, so it's like double Photoshop.
Do you know the Domino's guy
there's
told
no
Chris that he looked like
Tom
the,
Brady.
Looks like Tom Brady.
The Domino's
thank
guy
you.
did?
That was before I got fat as fuck. So yeah, back in the day I did. I was a young TB12.
All right. Well, okay.
The good old days.
Congratulations to
crying
Domino's
because I
for
look like
hiring
him.
the blind.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck, that was great. All right.
Just to confirm,
Yes.
Domino's does not let blind drivers
All right,
drive.
come on, let's move on.
They just
Come on,
deliver the
let's make
pizza
this
at your doorstep.
Colts Raiders. Colts win that game 44-27. They're keeping pace with the Titans for the NFC South. Have they played each other twice yet? They have, right? They're 1-1 against each other, right?
I'm blanking. I'm blanking so hard.
That's all right. No, the Colts won the first matchup. I'm pretty sure the Titans won the last matchup like 2 weeks ago. So I think they're keeping pace. I want to know what the tiebreaker is between them. Maybe it's divisional or something like that.
Flip it.
Oh my God, James, you look like a
This
fucking
is a good one.
Oh,
I
dude,
can't
that's
flip
me
it.
wearing one of my grandma's sweaters.
Yeah.
You
And a
fit?
boomerang. You have a boomerang.
I do have a boomerang.
Oh my God, you do have a boomerang. What the hell?
I can't
Bro, we
flip
found
it.
a lot of weird
That's some
stuff. too, but I
Aborigine
know
shit.
that.
There was some good shit.
JT, really good game. Jonathan
Again.
Taylor.
Mhm.
Jonathan Taylor, a gem. Like that backfield for the Colts is dynamic.
That being said, expect Naeem Hines to have a huge week this week upcoming. Yeah.
Natural.
Star
Drew,
Jonathan
don't-
Taylor.
Drew,
Naeem Hines will
Don't
fucking get
play
45
Nyheim
points.
Hines. It's not gonna
Oh my
happen.
god, I don't know, man. It could happen.
It could I know.
It could happen at any given time.
Drew's reaction is a perfect reminder for all Colts running backs fantasy owners. Don't trust the system.
Oh my
It's
god,
gonna
it's
fuck you
awful,
over.
dude.
Unless
I'll
you have
never
all
get over
three.
it.
You want to
You
I
either
will-
play none of them or all three at once, or else
literally
you're fucked.
that's your only
Dude,
option.
that's the motion,
I will
dude.
never get
That is-
over when they came out and straight up said that Naheem Hines was gonna get the touches, and he touched the ball like 8 times.
Jog
Speaking
my
of that-
memory. Whatever happened to Marlon Mack? Did he get injured?
Yeah, he was
Oh,
IR'd
he went on
early
IR for, like the first game.
or
That's a-
preseason.
There was no
Who
preseason.
who came out and said they weren't playing this week? And
Oh,
then
Josh
showed
Jacobs?
up on Josh
Oh,
Jacobs.
yeah.
That was it.
That
Yeah.
was hilarious. Drew,
Hey
Brett
guys,
was
I'm
freaking out,
a
remember
healthy
that?
scratch this week.
I mean, not that it mattered, but it was funny as
No.
fuck.
No,
It was
funny as
hilarious.
hell.
No. So our
People were
friend
pissed.
made like it wasn't even an 18 parlay. It was like he put a couple teams and then like how you do
Individual players,
like, individual
to score
players
touchdowns.
scoring first touchdowns or whatever.
No,
and
not
Josh
first,
Jacobs-
just touchdowns.
Wait,
Not
what?
first touchdown, just touchdowns.
Oh, touchdowns in general.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
shut up,
Yeah.
Zach.
Yeah, what the fuck do I know? And then obviously Josh Jacobs goes, yeah, I'm not playing, or he's not playing this week or whatever. Fuck
At
with
this
it.
point, he had hit on every single early game
Mhm.
yes,
bet that he had made.
that's why he was.
So
that's why he was
his-
heated.
His parlay was perfect, and then Josh Jacobs said that on Instagram. It was like, oh, but the Saints fucked him over anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah, that's fair. He's like, the one week I don't want my team to win, and I'm like, bro, you're a bandwagon Eagles fan. Shut the fuck up.
matter. Betting against this fucking team.
Yeah, I
What is
know.
wrong with this
I
kid?
know. All right, well,
Well, that from a standpoint though, because I know a lot of people that do that. You got to cover yourself. If you don't trust your team, you got to cover them.
It's true.
Yeah, but you
Oh, that's
know that the second you bet against them, they're gonna win.
Well, that's why I don't bet anymore.
That's why I would never
Um,
bet on the
because you're
Packers.
bad.
Because every time I touch it, I lose.
All right. Well, let's talk about that game. We'll skip over
rips the
obviously.
money out of your account off the bat.
Literally, just says, "Hey, we know what's gonna happen."
We're gonna skip over your NFC North clinching game because I feel like that wasn't like that crazy of a game. But we'll
Yeah, just don't even mention the fact that the Packers have clinched their division already.
He said it.
Yeah, but you glossed over it.
I'm not gonna gloss over it. I'm just gonna go over
You said we're gonna skip that game entirely in the process of glossing over the NFC Championship win.
Listen.
Oh,
Just because you have coronavirus, don't mean I have to feel bad
Championship.
for you and actually go over a game that
I
doesn't fucking matter. All right?
I didn't ask you
the
to.
Detroit
I
Lions.
didn't ask you to.
Excuse me.
Ooh.
all right. How about this? Before we get to that, someone skipped over Thursday night.
Yeah, but that's back in Thursday.
We don't need to talk about that game.
I think we need to talk about that game.
It's not a game.
I agree.
I think we need to talk about that game.
Talk
you know?
about it. Do you want
That-
furious Chris or pissed Chris?
Either or, do it.
All
Each
right.
one alternate. I
Can
want
we get-
pissed,
how
serious,
about-
pissed.
okay,
serious.
all right. I'll agree to do this game as long as we get senile Chris to talk about the game, where he has no idea what he's fucking talking about. Can we agree to that?
What?
All right,
What is?
cool.
I don't know senile.
Alright,
Chris.
So-
I
sounds
don't
like
even know
we're
what
all
senile
good.
means. Now I
It's
gotta
right,
look that
correct.
shit
right
up.
next to the
You're doing great, Chris. You are doing great.
Thank you. My mind's been
Great
going
start.
crazy.
Great start.
Senile, having or showing the weaknesses or diseases of old age.
Chris has been showing the fact that he's senile since he was like 16.
Yeah, come on,
This
man.
episode's brought to you by Merriam-Webster, apparently.
You guys should hear my joints when I get up in the morning. Everything cracks, and I'm
We
like,
get it. You
"Oh."
fucking smoke.
They're like, smoke me. Come and smoke me, please.
Joints. It was a joke. Anyway.
I don't get that, but let's be realistic.
You know,
Cam Newton is not the answer, and he never should have been. But the Patriots, I mean, for those listening, check the blog by the end of this week. I've been writing one for 6 weeks now. And it should be out
Jesus
within the next
Christ.
3 weeks. Cam Newton is not the answer. Never should have been. I'm going to go over this more and more and more throughout the season, and it's almost over. Cam Newton, what the Patriots did, what should have been a rebuilding year, and throwing Stidham into the fire and watching what he can do and letting him take what he learned from Brady, they threw Cam Newton in. And what they basically did is, that meme where the waterproof tape, where he slaps it onto
Oh,
the thing?
yeah.
with
He
the
slaps it on the thing and covers
yeah,
it.
Cam Newton was that tape. But except this was not waterproof tape. This was Scotch tape. So the Patriots threw Cam Newton in thinking that he was an all elite, all veteran quarterback, which, don't get me wrong, in the right listen, in the right sense, Cam Newton, I think, is one of the most physical athletes around. He's huge. He can run the ball. He can catch. He can do everything. In the Patriots organization, you need a QB with a mindset like any other. You need someone that has constant situational awareness, and you need a couple other things. One of them being able to throw the ball. Now, what we did is basically throw Cam Newton in and say, hey, we're going to put this offense around you. Go get us some wins. And it just hasn't worked out.
Wait a minute. They
What?
didn't do anything for him to build the offense around him.
Their whole entire playbook is around him running the ball.
Yeah, they kept the same offense, stuck him in the middle of it, and then ran the ball a whole lot more. They changed the plays, but they didn't give him any personnel to work with. They didn't make sure that he had weapons that were suited to his strengths
that's my
or anything
point.
like that.
That's my point.
But-
Is this what should have been a rebuilding phase? They took Cam Newton and said, here's Tom Brady's cleats. You need to fit in them and take over. You know what I mean? The Pats fucked up the rebuilding phase. They took Cam Newton and threw him in.
Let me throw my
"Fix
2 cents onto the fire here.
I'm with you, Drew. I get what you're saying, and I agree with that. That's what I'm trying to get.
I don't think they necessarily built the offense around Cam Newton specifically. Because
the playbook they did.
Well, no. But
Playbook wise,
right?
yes.
No. Correct. Obviously, you have to do what your quarterback can do. You have to plan around what they can do and what they can't do. That's a given. But that offense was tailored towards a power run game anyways. I mean, that's kind of how they won their last Super Bowl against the Rams. I mean, Brady was not at his best. They won that game because of the offensive line and Sony Michel. Well, obviously from defense, but on offensive standpoint, they won because of Sony Michel and the offensive line. They have a really, really well offensive line group, and there's a reason why they're their third best rushing team in the league. And what's crazy is that they don't have any star-studded running backs. They're a running back committee, and Cam Newton is obviously probably, I would say, from a rushing standpoint, is their RB1. But Damian Harris has been taking over that role. I know James and I talked about this a lot. When we talked about the Patriots over the offseason, we said, by week 8 or 9, we thought Damian Harris was going to take over. And I think we absolutely nailed that take, because he has taken over this lead back role. And I think it suits him well. He's a really good rusher.
See, the thing with the Patriots, though, is there is no lead back. You can never count on a lead back.
No. But I would say
Burkhead's on the IR, don't get me wrong, but you can throw White, Harris, when you have Burkhead, you can throw any of those three out at any given moment. And someone, even Sonny Michel, when he's in his prime, which obviously he's hindered a little bit.
That's because none of them are an every down back.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Harris is not a third down back. James White is purely a third down back. Rex Burkhead is probably the closest to being able to fill both roles. But
I would say Rex Burkhead is more of their red zone.
I agree. Yeah,
but you can have Rex Burkhead in on any situation. He is a viable receiving option out of the backfield.
But you can say Harris, that for any of them, though. James White can.
Well, James White is James White is the receiving back.
I was going to say, James White's
only role on the team.
Pass catching back in the NFL.
No, I wouldn't say that, but he's right up there. He's top 5 for sure. But like I said, they don't have an every down back. They don't have someone that can do everything that they need them to do all the time, which is why it's a committee and always has been. They've never cared to go out and get a guy like that and pay one guy to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right. But I think what Zach's getting at is Cam Newton replaces that every down back.
Oh, I don't know if I'd say that. I would just say that looking at his numbers, that's kind of what he's been.
That's what. Yeah.
Obviously, looking at his passing numbers, he's got 6 touchdowns and 45 interceptions, for fuck's sake. So
something like that.
It's brutal. I mean, he's not a passing quarterback. I mean, I said that coming into this. He's not gonna. He's not gonna have. What's that?
It's a shame because he could be. He could when he is playing well and is using the proper mechanics and is, actually there mentally. He can throw the football, but the problem is half the time he's throwing flat-footed, sidearm, barely paying attention.
Right, and
that's where it's trouble.
Well, that's what I was originally saying is. Real quick, Zach, is that Cam Newton is basically I think he's favoring an injury, and we'll find out more at the end of the season.
Yeah, we think,
But 2, his situational awareness, his overall awareness is non-existent. Yeah. If there's a man behind him coming up, he has absolutely zero clue. He has no clue where the defensive ends are coming at him. All he sees is I think he only sees the nose tackle, to be honest.
And, I mean, talking about the awareness, not even just, in the play, in the moment, on the field awareness, just game awareness and knowing, what the situation is. They've lost a couple games this year because of how Cam Newton's played at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Bills game.
Yep.
And
when to run the ball, when not to.
Right, that is something that you cannot have at this point in the NFL, especially when you've been in the NFL for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Those are college freshman mistakes.
Mm-hmm. But we can't solely blame that on Cam Newton either. I'm trying to give him as much as the benefit of the doubt as I can. We have to place that blame on McDaniels too, because I know McDaniels is saying, right now, you run this fucking ball. And that's part of the problem too.
Well, I think the game plan is built the way it is because I don't think Josh trusts Cam.
Well, yeah, he's also fumbled at the end of games when
Right.
they were basically
absolutely.
in field goal range.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you look at the beginning of the year, it's been the same. It's been the same shit. It's been that, read option bullshit that he gets maybe 5 or 6 yards on whenever they want it. He's not, like Chris said, he's not the agile, mobile quarterback. He is a tank. Like, he'll run through you, but he's not like that anymore. You know what I mean? And I really think that they should go into games now and be like, all right, Cam, like, you've done enough running. Like, if we don't make the playoffs, we don't make the playoffs. Throw the fucking ball, dude. Just throw the ball. We're going to get you up there for like 30 passes. Throw the ball. Let's see what you got, man. If you got it, if you still have it, we've already seen what you can do on the ground. You're a really good rushing quarterback. Like, you have.
I mean, that goes into why I believe that they're keeping him as a starter. At this point, Cam Newton's not your guy. You know that, right? But if you sit him and let Stidham start, his value just drops. You already paid this guy his money for his 1 year contract. At this point, you say, Cam, we're already, even if we make playoffs, we're not going to go far. Throw the fucking ball, get some highlight reels. We'll get you a place to go after the season. We'll get you the money you deserve. We'll show people that you still have it.
And we get a compensatory pick. That's a big one right there.
Well, that could totally be part of it too. So the reason Cam Newton is in right now is to deal him. I can promise you that. But my original theory is what the problem that the Pats have right now is instead of they tried to skip over this rebuilding phase by throwing Cam in there and seeing what he can do, and now they're going to have 2 years of rebuilding.
I wouldn't next season, but like that's the thing. I wouldn't even call it a rebuilding phase because they lost. Yes, they lost Tom Brady, and it's obviously a quarterback rebuilding, technically speaking. But
a leader rebuilding.
I gotta say, looking back at all these games, how many games have they been within 3 or 4 points where they've gone down and had that drive? And they've lost on the last drive because they couldn't punch into the end zone. That's happened, 3 or 4 times?
Mm-hmm. At least.
There's your playoffs there. There's your playoffs right there because you can't punch into the end zone when it matters the most. That's where you miss Brady the most. But if you have a quarterback that's able to do that, it doesn't even have to. You don't have to have the best quarterback of all time. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
If you have a guy like Matthew Stafford, or if they trade for Carson Wentz, I might cry. But even if you have a guy like Carson Wentz in that situation, I mean.
I don't think very carefully about what you're about to say.
Don't even try.
I would say it opens the playbook more down near the goal line, and it gives them a better opportunity to win that game rather than solely relying on Cam's legs because they know what's coming. If you're in a 2 or 3 yard situation, at least you can be like, oh yeah, maybe they'll pass it, maybe they won't. We don't know. But with Cam, you're like, he's running the ball. He's running the ball. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously, I value Matthew Stafford 50,000 times higher than Carson Wentz. If you have Matthew Stafford in there, it's like, okay, he can run the ball if he wants. Like Matthew Stafford can truck it in if he needs to. But he's a threat. He's a threat. Cam Newton on the ground, I would consider a threat on the ground, but through the air is inept. So I feel like they cancel each other out. At least with the quarterback like Matthew Stafford on that offense, they make the playoffs. I really think I'm surprised at how I thought this team was gonna obviously take a step back, and they did in the standings really. But if you look at the games that they've won and the games that they've lost, by like 3 or 4 points, it's been on last drives. Like they've had the ball, they've driven down the field, and they've gotten stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a better quarterback away from being a playoff team still. So
and plus, I mean, they get a lot of players back next season that opted out this year. I think what I mean by rebuilding phase is just the fact that we were so shorthanded this year And
but that's because people opted out. It's not because we lost. We did lose. We lost pieces. We lost pieces in the defense. No doubt.
But you still got to recover those roles. I mean,
all right. I think we've talked about this game enough at this point. I think we just need.
We need to wrap it up once.
Hey, do you know the Rams played? Yeah.
And won.
The only point I'll say about that on LA then, since we'll talk about this, but my general rule of thumb with running backs is you can kind of tell if they're going to have a good game off of like the first 3 carries. After the first carry, I was like, this is Cam Akers' night.
Yeah.
He just had the vision. He was hitting the holes perfectly, and he was just getting the extra few yards each time.
He's him and Damien Harris are the two that are coming into their own really on those offenses. Obviously, there are other rookie running backs, but I think Cam Akers is in a good spot to take over that lead back role.
Please.
I know. Seriously, I need it. I need it.
I need it.
I need it.
I don't need it.
All right.
I don't need it.
Let's move on to our last talkable game, and then we'll just run through the other games. Obviously, Bills Steelers. Shoot, James, me and you.
Not shot. We called it.
We shoot the shot. Yeah. Wonderful game by the Bills.
Who would have thought in 2020 we would be talking about a Steelers team that can't really protect their quarterbacks and their running backs suck? That's not in the Steelers' identity.
The Steelers are not that great.
Offensively, no. Defensively, yes.
Defense, yes. Oh yeah.
I think I said this in our comments today. The Pittsburgh on defense is like a Rottweiler, and on offense they're like a poodle.
Yeah, that's true. Which again is surprising because of all the weapons they have on offense.
They can't utilize them, which is funky because the beginning of the season, everyone was like, wow, oh, okay, maybe, because they have the highlight reel. Like, they have some amazing plays on offense, don't get me wrong.
I mean, just
as it comes late in the season,
Well, the receivers have forgotten how to receive.
No, correct.
Yeah, Juju had a couple drops.
Everyone had a couple drops.
No, but when they're all on, I would argue a top 3 wide receiving core in the league.
I would heartily disagree.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think all three.
Top 3.
Yeah, dude.
If all 3 are hitting, I don't disagree with Zach, dude. If all 3 are hitting,
there's no way you stop them. But they've all been missing. They've all been missing in action.
So I think. Sorry, Zach. Go with your. I'll talk.
It's fine. It's fine. We can talk about that. We can talk about that later. We can bring that up later. But I would say this is a statement game. This is the Bills coming out party. This is their way of saying we're gonna be here. We're gonna be around in the AFC for a good amount of time. I mean, this is the transition that we've been waiting for from a Patriots dominated AFC to now there are some other teams coming out. Obviously the Steelers, we don't think they're as good as they are. I would say they're probably closer to that 9-7 team that they were last year, but their record was a lot easier. Their schedule is a lot easier this year for them, at least. I think the Bills are legit, man. I've been saying this all year. I've said it when we were talking about them in the offseason. I think they're a legit team.
I don't remember you saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they're a complete team. I think they're one of the only complete teams in the league.
Spot the lie.
I mean, just look at some of their wins. I mean, they have big time wins over big time opponents.
Yeah.
Again, if it wasn't solely for DeAndre Hopkins, we're looking at an 11-2 Bills team.
True. That's actually a good way of looking at it.
It hits different than 10-3, but I mean, think about it like this. Bills went out. They're 13-3. I remember that picture. But anyways, yeah, I mean, still 13-3 Bills team. That's a wagon. I would call it a wagon.
And I think we talked about this in the chat, but it's insane to see how much of a difference maker it is once Stephon Diggs starts cooking.
Oh my God.
Once him and Allen finally start clicking, you could see it progressively throughout the game. Like it was like a couple miscues, and then all of a sudden it was like bam. Once they hit the ground and they were going, they were off.
Well, that's the exact opposite of what you just said with running backs, is especially with Diggs, is he has to cook up. And when he hits that like meter, he's just like on fire. And when Josh Allen can connect with him, they make a great team, and that is a big strength for the Bills.
Yeah, he has. He's gotten a bona fide number one wide receiver. I mean, he's leading the league in receptions. He's hit 100 receptions in 13 games. He's just ruining defenses. I mean, he's a complete receiver. We've seen that already, and what he can do, with what was his name? Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and obviously we saw what he could do with Kirk Cousins. Now he's got a young, promising quarterback, and he's still producing. He's still producing. I mean, he's gone through the gambit. He's gone through everything he needs to go through for me to consider him a complete number one wide receiver in the league. I mean, he's got the numbers. He's got, 3 different quarterbacks that he's been thrown to, and he's proven that he can produce no matter what. So,
agreed.
I don't really know what to say about it. I mean,
yeah,
I doubted him. I'll be the first to
I
say
did.
that.
Well, how do you not?
Too. I did too, and not because I doubted him specifically. I just thought that there were maybe too many cooks in the kitchen on that offense. And looking back at last season, it's a different offense. They're not running the ball as much as they used to, and it's a Josh Allen offense. You know what I mean? It's not a run and play action kind of offense anymore. It's a Josh Allen offense. That kid is special with the right weapons. He is special.
I don't know about his education, Zach. I'm not going to make a comment on that.
Fucking hate you. All right, well, let's run through the scores of the other games, and then we'll transition over. We'll head over to week 15. We got Cowboys Bengals. Cowboys win 30-7. That's the first time they've won a game by more than 3 points this season. That's all I'm going to say. I mentioned Titans Jaguars. Titans 31, Jaguars 10.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Jaguars.
Which was that another? Oh, AJ Brown with that one-handed reception. That was nasty.
No big deal.
No big deal. The Bears won 36-7 over the Texans.
No big deal.
I'm sure everyone saw the meme. Who posted that? I think it was that Julian that posted that. The Bears regretting picking Mitch Trubisky.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Okay.
No,
I saw it. They were right because Trubisky didn't have an interception. Mahomes had 3 interceptions, and I forget who else it was.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, had 1 interception.
Yeah, just this week's really. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Shout out to,
they planned it all for just
that was
that one day, and it worked out. Yeah.
Cardinals win 26-7. They stay alive in the playoff race. Broncos win 32-27. Drew Lock apparently remembered how to play football, which is good.
We're in the cycle.
Yeah. Seahawks win 40-3. Jets suck.
Speaking of one-handed plays, the Jets did have a nice one-handed interception.
That's true. But their record is 0-13, and that's all that matters at this point.
Well, yeah, but that's what they're shooting for at this point. They should be playing to lose now.
I know. I love how Greg Williams lost in the game and then immediately got fired. Amazing. All right. Well, I'll let Drew talk about this a little bit. Packers Lions. Packers win 31-24. Obviously, Packers clinched the NFC North. I told you, Drew, I would get back to you on this game.
There we go.
Drew, would you care to talk about your team's division clinching win?
I mean, I don't think it's as impressive as it should be at this point. It looked like it was going to be a lot more exciting coming down to it with how the Bears were playing early on, and the Vikings, how they kind of came a little bit back to life during the middle of the year, and they were actually the only ones holding us back up until this weekend. So, I don't know. It's anticlimactic, I guess, but feels good to not have to worry about that aspect of things anymore, and to just kind of focus on keeping par with New Orleans and getting that 1 seed for the only bye, which I still don't know if I like. But
Well, let's not forget though, who is the number 1 seed in the NFC right now, Drew?
Mother.
The Packers. I understand that. I'm just saying in general.
It's understandable that, you know, it's either going to be the Saints or the Packers at this point. I mean, barring any major loss again by either team in the coming 3 games, it's, you know, it's either the Packers or the Saints to lose. But obviously the Packers have them beat because they've already beat them this season. So, you know, right. So, I mean,
Chris.
I mean, again, you know, Packers, they went out, they go 13-3, they're the number 1 seed. So you're in the driver's seat. You should feel good about that. What are your thoughts on the upcoming schedule? Do you see any potential trap games or any losses or any hard opponents coming up?
I'm scared about the Titans game, of course. That's going to be a tough one.
Yep.
That's a big game.
Okay, that's fair.
Other than that, we have I believe the Bears to end the season, and the Panthers this coming week. So,
is that a Christian McCaffrey Panthers or a Christian McCaffrey?
He is limited in participation, so question mark.
We don't know yet. Okay, I'm hoping that
either way, I'm not worried about the Panthers game. I think they'll be fine. I don't think that defense is really going to be able to hold the Packers offense down at all.
That's fair.
I am worried about the Titans game, but
that's fair.
As long as the Saints lose another game, it doesn't matter.
Right, exactly. But then we'd have to look at their schedule. So, but we'll move on. Washington football team takes care of business.
Jesus Christ, we're still in week 14?
Yes, we're still in week 14.
Because we spent like 9 years talking about the Patriots.
Again, I mean...
Not even about the Rams.
No.
We mentioned Cam Akers.
Washington football team wins 23-15. Not much to say about that game. Washington's defense came to play. Chargers win 20-17 against the Falcons. Obviously,
can we talk about how inept Washington's offense is without Alex Smith, though?
Can we talk about how bad Cam
for real?
Again, Dwayne Haskins.
We talked about that yet.
Let's just leave it at Dwayne Haskins. I think that's all we need to say.
Yeah, but I don't know. I expected more out of that, especially with the weapons that he has for short situations.
Well, I think
he could have made something happen.
Obviously, yeah, I understand, but looking at it, it's the defense. The defense is good enough to cover for the offense.
No, but I think it also goes to show what Alex Smith does for that team.
He gives.
I don't think we're giving him enough credit.
Exactly.
No. I think he is. You know, he is their quarterback. I think obviously it's not Dwayne, and it's clearly not Kyle Allen or whoever the hell else they have in there. He gives them the best chance.
Terrible. Huh? Kyle Allen wasn't atrocious. He's better than Dwayne Haskins.
He's better than Dwayne Haskins.
Alex Smith is the best option.
Alex Smith is the best option. Yeah. But you know, I don't think there's much to say on that because, you know, their quarterbacks keep getting hurt. So it's just a matter of time. I still think Washington wins the division, but you know, whatever. All right, let's move on to next week, guys. Let's do some preview.
Wait, we're not even going to talk about arguably the biggest upset of the week?
Come on, Zach.
What? Come on, Zach.
Come on, Zach.
Zach, come on.
The biggest upset of the week?
Are you just going to... Unless I'm insane, but did we glance over Philly beating New Orleans?
Come on, Zach.
Oh, I guess we did. Shit, I forgot to talk about that.
Wow.
My bad.
Wow.
Yeah, no, Eagles beat the Saints. Well, you know why? Because we talked about Brett's parlay, and I thought we talked about it with that whole spiel.
It doesn't excuse your actions.
Doesn't excuse you from not being home for 3 weeks, you fucking piece of shit.
Sorry.
I miss you. I want you on next.
I know. I miss everyone so much.
Anyway.
Eagles win 24-21. Jalen Hurts, man. He's 2 games in.
Let's start like this. The Eagles looked like a football team the other day.
They did. I mean, I would say the Eagles, you know, they're obviously, I think for the past 4 years, they've just been the most hurt team in football. I mean, obviously the 49ers have them beat this year, but I mean,
49ers might give them a run for their money.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway. I would agree with that.
Not even counting this year.
I would say the Eagles have been, you know, probably the most banged up team in the last 4 years of football. I mean, they've had so many injuries to important positions. Not only that, they've lost a lot of key pieces on defense, but they held the Saints in check. I mean, let's not forget, the Saints didn't have Drew Brees. Taysom Hill has been a good backup. He's been good in those situations. I mean, not that I would say that was his first big test, but they didn't do enough to win. The Saints defense has been the number one defense in the league this year, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't know that up until I, researched this game, but
they've been good.
But also
impressive. But giving up 24, I think looking at this game, 24-21, Jalen Hurts against the number one defense in the league, and he came through. I think that's huge.
You want to talk about a first real test? That is Jalen Hurts' first real test in his first real game.
His first real test, the number one seed in the NFC. the best defense
in the league.
Exactly. So, I mean, put a check right on his box.
Well, more importantly, I mean, what's the Saints' worries here? The running core was very quiet this week. What do they have to worry about? Someone said Drew Brees might be back this week.
I mean, they're playing the Chiefs. It doesn't matter.
I don't necessarily think they have to worry. I don't think this is a game you look and you say, oh, well, there goes their chances. I just don't think they had a good game.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Like I said, with what the Packers have left and the fact that the Saints are playing the Chiefs this week, I think that if they don't find a way to beat the Chiefs, they aren't going to be able to take that one seed.
Right. And that's going to be huge for you, Drew, because Aaron Rodgers is a homer quarterback in the playoffs. No offense, but
that's not even the night game for Sunday. Wow.
I don't know what the night game is. Well, let's.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you.
Let's do this. We've run way over time on this week, so let's go quick. Let's go through 4 games. All right, everyone get on the app. Everyone pick a game. We can go over it, and then we'll talk about the other games. Obviously, we'll just mention them. But I think we need to, really, fucking wagon this thing along here.
I mean, I ate earlier.
We got Saturday football, baby. Are you kidding me? This Saturday is going to be lit.
We do have Saturday football.
We got Saturday football. They're not awful games. And
no, they're not terrible.
And we got NCAA championship football. Conference championship.
Why is it Saturday this week and not next week?
James is already fucking rock hard.
I am.
James from this point on is going to have a 5-day erection.
Yeah.
Do not consult that doctor, James. You let that shit last.
No, I'm rocking it, dude. 11:59, fucking done. But until then, we're here, baby. It's gonna be the best Saturday in the world.
We're gonna see him on the news. Breaking news: a house in Burlington covered.
All right. Dial it in.
All right, James, what's your game?
Oh fuck! I thought we were gonna talk about Thursday night first. Thursday night football. That's my game.
All right, Patriots Dolphins.
What?
What is wrong with you, Zach?
Oh, I'm sorry. Chargers Raiders. There you go. Woo. I have Patriots Dolphins as the first game. It's the first slot. All right. Give me a fucking break. You have coronavirus, Drew.
Okay.
The Patriots play every Thursday night game this year.
Pandemic, you idiot. You're real dumb right now.
All right, so James, your game this week is Chargers Raiders.
Yeah. Have time to check. I think this is going to be interesting to see what Raiders team. I think we talked about this. They're so spontaneous on who's actually going out there and who's actually going to perform. I think this will be a fun test. I mean, they've already played, but I think this will be fun to see Herbert versus the questioning Raiders secondary. And then see if this Raiders offense can actually make a push. They're in the wrong direction right now for a playoff push. So I want to see if they can bounce back and take advantage of a weak Chargers team.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Chris, what's your game? Is it also Thursday night football, Patriots Dolphins?
No, but my game probably
the suspense
Tampa Bay at Atlanta, maybe. Tampa Bay at Atlanta, because Atlanta's on that come up, and Tampa Bay is trying to stay hot, but I'm not 100% sure if they can.
Well, you just go fuck yourself for taking my game.
Oof, ouch, sorry.
Drew's gonna pick that
Hey,
game
you're not
too.
taking your own game?
Why would I take the Packers and the Panthers?
He
I
already
don't know.
talked about this game. He said he's not worried about it. So
Shefty tweeted no CMC. Matt Rule will not confirm CMC for Sunday.
Again.
Well, I mean, not that he's not playing. They're just not
doesn't mean
confirming.
he's not there. Yeah. So
Matt Rule does not expect running back.
I'm not
Christian McCaffrey
confirming
to
that
play.
he owes
Okay,
me
well,
a
that's
whole entire
different.
fantasy season.
um
All right, Tampa Bay, you're still making that playoff push. So obviously they're going to try to do that. Atlanta is on the come up. They've kind of figured out, not that they've figured out all their problems, but they're home. And if with Julio and Ridley healthy, maybe Matty Ice can find them. I don't know. And maybe that defense can actually do something this week. So I think that will be an interesting game, but Tampa Bay's favored by 6. I think they'll take the win, but I'm not going to say a definite yes or no because I'm just not sure.
You know what I would look at as this being interesting is the only thing that Atlanta has to play for is to ruin Tampa's playoff chances. They're out. They are out of contention.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So having that opportunity to take a division rival and be like, fuck you.
Exactly. That's exactly what this game is going to be.
That being said, Tampa by 13. Why do you look so sad, Zach? What is going on, dude?
Is he having a seizure?
I don't know. I thought we all froze. Is it just Zach? Oh,
it
there
might
he
have just
is.
been me.
Dude, but he was moving. What?
You were okay. Yes, Zach was moving, right? I'm not losing my shit.
What? No, his eyes were moving.
It was like a
Zach, you were like this for a solid
Second
minute.
time I've used that in 2 days.
Well, because I was like, everyone was freezing, so I was like, okay, cool. It's the Zach Show. Just what Zach wants to say. Thanks for tuning in.
Next game.
All right,
Move it
Drew, your
along.
game. What's your game?
I don't know. These games are fucking awful.
No, I got my game. You want me to say my game then? I'll go with my game.
Go ahead. These are all
Please.
terrible.
Please.
Dude.
Yep.
I'm looking at the Seahawks and Washington football team this week.
I was waiting for a loud son of a bitch or something there.
He owes me a fantasy season.
Who does?
CMC.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
I mean, it's
So-
a dynasty league, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
so
but my dynasty ain't going to be a dynasty next year.
Seahawks Washington football team. I don't know if Alex Smith comes back next week. Is he questionable? I don't know
Yep.
what happened.
Questionable.
He's questionable.
Is
So let's.
Is it the same leg? That's my important
No.
question.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, good.
I don't know. Let's see how.
Wait, maybe.
You know, I want to see what kind of game we get
No.
here. I don't know. That
Can't confirm, but no.
I think that Washington defense is a legit squad. I mean, they've proved it pretty much almost every game this year.
Squaw.
Huh?
Squaw.
And the Seahawks have been iffy the past couple of games. I mean, they lost to the Giants. Colt McCoy, for fuck's sake. So I could see an upset here. I could easily see Washington taking this game. I mean, because think about it. They beat the Steelers. Not that the Steelers are a good squad, but or as good of a squad as they thought, but they upset the Steelers. I could see another upset here. I could see them moving along here.
If Washington upsets here, I am fully sold out on Seattle making a run. Fully.
Oh,
going.
I'm with you. This squashes all of Seattle's
Wait,
chances, I think.
Like I'm saying, if Washington can upset here, Drew, I'm sold on. Like not sold positively. I'm selling out on Seattle being a
okay.
playoff.
All right. That
a
was
deep run.
Yeah,
very
No, I
confusing.
got what he was saying. He's basically saying the Seattle's chances are done, and I agree completely.
I mean,
Seattle
they're most
loses this
likely
one,
they're
they're
most
fucked.
likely going to make the playoffs. But it's not very it's not a good look to have back-to-back losses against NFC East opponents. Not a good look. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what kind of defense Pete Carroll throws out there against Washington. I mean, it's gonna be. I think the marquee matchup is Russ against that defense.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, Drew, give me a game.
I'll take Cardinals Eagles, I guess.
All right, well,
That's gonna be. I obviously with the Eagles trending up and Jalen Hurts on the road to proving himself.
I gotta say, I like that pick because I like a Kyler and Jalen Hurts matchup.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
That sounds pretty fun to me. I know James is over there rocking a half chub just thinking about it.
Yeah, that gets my Oklahoma, quote unquote, Sooner rolling. Okay. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Cool.
I'm gonna keep it going.
Cool.
Not the Sooner.
Word.
All right. Well, let's just go over the games. Bills Broncos Saturday football. That's at 4:30.
Woo!
Packers Panthers Saturday night football. Drew.
Yes, sir.
So Sunday all day. You will not have to be worrying. You'll already know the score. That's great. Obviously, Patriots Dolphins at 1:00. 49ers Cowboys 1:00. Lions Titans 1:00. Bears Vikings 1:00. Bears Vikings should be a good game. It was a good game last time they played. We'll see how that pans out.
Jacksonville for the upset this week.
I got a big fantasy question, y'all.
All right, let's hear it.
For the fantasy championship here, or the first round of the playoffs for this league, do I go with Aaron Rodgers or Kyler Murray?
Aaron Rodgers.
I would go Aaron Rodgers because I feel like Kyler Murray has been a little inconsistent in the fantasy spectrum.
You don't know how he's going to play this week, and Rodgers will most likely put up probably more than 4 touchdowns.
Probably more than 4 touchdowns? That would be dope.
I have a feeling.
It's
right in my colon.
How many touchdowns Aaron Rodgers will throw
on the planet.
Zach, how's your colon feeling about this?
My colon is undecided.
Is your colon on vibrate? Or did you leave it on loud?
No, my colon was cleared maybe 30 minutes before we started the show, so my colon has to say. Yes.
Pooping. 344, Drew.
I took a Lamar shot.
Yeah, I personally would take Rodgers.
Yeah, I would say Rodgers. I think Rodgers is your safer bet.
You don't know how the Eagles defense is going to fare with them.
You just don't know. You just don't know what Kyler you're going to get. Are you going to get rushing Kyler or are you going to get throwing Kyler? Because if you get rushing Kyler, then it's probably not going to be a better fantasy day for him. You get a throwing Kyler, maybe. But I mean, I think they both have similar-ish talent weapons on their offense. Or I mean, I would say maybe Arizona has a couple a better wide receiver spectrum. But I mean, I
don't even know that I agree with that.
But I like what I'm trying to say though is that as long as Rodgers has Tay, he's gonna ball. So it's fine.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. We have Colts playing the Texans also at 1:00. Falcons Bucks play at 1. Jags Ravens play at 1. Chris, you said upset on this game?
Yeah.
Wait, on what?
On the Ravens Jaguars game?
I said it like twice. So I was just seeing who was listening. No.
Seahawks Washington play at 1, and then we move into the 4:00 slot. Cardinals Eagles for 4:05. Rams Jets. Man, I don't think I've ever seen a harder tank. But when T-Law's involved, I guess anything goes. I know someone, I don't remember who said this earlier, but Chiefs Saints is at 4:25. That should be the night game easily. No offense to the Browns, but
no, it should. Having the Browns versus the Giants on Sunday night, that's fucking moronic.
Yeah, that's brutal. Chiefs Saints is clearly a better game, but again, that'll be obviously an interesting game to watch. Two of the best teams in the NFL. If we get Drew Brees back, I think it's a completely different story. I think it's more of a toss-up than we would care to admit.
I would prefer to see the Saints win than the Chiefs.
Well, obviously.
Fuck that.
You'd rather see.
Yeah, you know what? I like the Saints in this matchup too.
I disagree.
I'm just saying. If we say it enough, Drew might turn on his camera and scowl at us.
I am not turning my camera back on. I'm half asleep, man.
That's fine.
No, I know. I'm fucking with you. All right. Obviously, That's going to be probably the best. I would say probably the best game of the week, but I mean, we were surprised last week. Browns Giants 8:20 slot Sunday night, and then our Monday night game is a classic Steelers Bengal.
I love the way they've tried to sell this game as like the Bengals are resilient. It's like,
Yeah,
we're gonna suck without Joe Burrow. Say it as it is.
AJ McCarron game.
Is AJ McCarron really under center?
No, I have no idea, but that was my best guess. I don't know.
I don't think AJ McCarron even plays for the Bengals anymore.
Probably
I
doesn't.
don't think so.
No,
Ryan Finley?
Is it
I
Ryan
think it is Ryan Finley.
Is it really?
Wasn't he a first-round pick?
Ryan Finley or AJ
No,
McCarron?
McCarron.
AJ was.
No, AJ McCarron was not a first round pick.
No?
He wasn't.
I don't think so. I think
All right,
he was
well,
like a fifth round pick or something.
Let's look
I think he
into this.
was.
James, how are we running on time? Because I can't see it.
Dude, I don't know. Long?
Long. All right. Well.
We're over an hour and
He was
20.
drafted in the fifth round. Yes.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
See, it's basically that's the first of the fifth through sixth rounds. Spot the lie.
Wow,
I
I
hate
thought
that
for sure he
logic.
was a
I
first
hate
round.
that logic so much. All right,
No.
well,
No.
Does anyone have any other points we want to make? Obviously, we ran a lot longer than we wanted to, but anyone have any points?
Yeah, I want some of the jerseys behind you.
AJ McCarron sucks.
Not for sale. Yes, you are correct. He does suck.
I got nothing. I'm having a good time.
James is shooting blanket chips. Isn't that a good name? Good name, right? Love that name.
That was a good name. I'm happy for you for that.
Thank you. Well, that is the name of my fantasy team.
Yo,
Unless you're not BOTA's
Just
favorite
stole
racist.
my idea of naming the East-West
just
Bowl.
at me
Okay,
every
all
time
right.
you're calling me a
I didn't
racist.
steal the idea. I was
We're literally
inspired.
defending
I was
people.
inspired by you naming Lamar Jackson, and then I named my entire team. I mean, I give you credit where credit is due, Drew, for inspiring me in my artistic vision. But fuck you,
As long as I'm cited.
you are in
Artistic
fact
is generous.
cited in the naming of my team.
Word.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys have nothing else, obviously we're gonna end the show here. You know where to find us. You already found us. You're listening to us right now. Congratulations for not fucking killing yourself after listening to us for an hour and a half. I'm surprised. Like, honestly, I figured we hear more reports of people just spontaneously combusting after listening to the show.
Pardon me while I burst into flames.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Love the background, Chris. Definitely BOTA centric.
Retro.
Spot the retro.
Hard to have a retro logo after a year, but retro.
retro. I know, right?
Retro.
Year and a half.
This is the
James, come on.
original.
Year and a half. Actually, wait, no, it's
What?
no, it's
It's
not.
been a year and 3 months.
I'm gonna eat the mic. You can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, any other place you can find a podcast. Carrier Pigeon, maybe. Are we sending those out yet, James?
Can I please be in charge of our carrier pigeon legions?
Yes, of course.
I think that would give us a unique
You know what?
market
Actually,
share.
I lied. So I wasn't going to reveal this to you guys, but I actually hired an IT tech guy to hack all of the Pigeon FBI spy drones to actually just play BOTAcast.
Just constantly, they're just flying
Check
around.
us out in your
Just
local
awesome.
Apple store as we just put
24/7.
BOTAcast
You're just walking in downtown Boston, and all of a sudden you hear like a flock. You just hear a flock of pigeons go, "Hey, it's Soggy Boy. What's going on? It's BOTAcast."
And every pigeon in the flock is at a different point of a different episode.
Our pigeons are detecting something, sir. What is it? It's BOTAcast.
I'm gonna end it here, but you're literally, you go to your car after dinner one night in Boston, Drew, and you hear this flapping, and then all of a sudden you hear, each deck of these playing cards comes with a certificate.
You never know when you're gonna get hit.
And then
with
it
a
immediately
certificate of
shits on you, 'cause
ownership.
that's-
Immediately shits on you.
That's a metaphor for who we are as people.
I love it. All right, guys, stay beautiful, stay soggy. We love you all. James,
Stay Christy.
I don't know if I like that compromise.
yeah,
No,
I do.
no.
I do.
No.
No, come on. I was doing it for us. This is an
No.
us thing. Come on, son.
Fine.
Thank you.
Stay beautiful.
Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell for all alerts on our uploaded videos. and find us everywhere at BOTA Sports.